Hi friends, MD Vegan. It's autumn and I make a fall banana milk with fall spices. Spices, I'm now having an Ayurveda lecture. It's a great medical doctor from the West and she is also Indian. She's also studying Ayurveda for herself, so she's both allopathic and holistic medicine. And the Ayurveda lecture is so interesting. We learn a lot about Ayurveda and now she comes to the spices for the kitchen. That's for me as a chef. So of course fascinating. And the first thing she said, all spices, they're all adding heat, a fire element to the food. That's what they do, basically. We have to understand, she said, that's very important. But everything we do with the spices, we have to see that happens always. They always add heat, warm, fire element to the food. And of course, there are so many ways, and they have, of course, it's very complicated. I don't go into the details now. I will spare you with that. I find it fascinating because the Indians are the ones, the Indian culture. This is the one where we have most our knowledge about spices from. The big European cities, the first cities, Venice and others, Venice was one of the first, they got rich by trading spices from India. They had ships and brought it, and the landway also brought the spices to Europe, and then they got rich. How wealthy, super wealthy these cities. That's famous, and that's how spices came to Europe and over the world. These trade lines in the medieval times. And yeah, that's why we know the spices, and they have such an ancient knowledge. It's so exciting. So fall spices, we all know that is here cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove. I have here. This is cinnamon here. We know that's a bark. We all know cinnamon. That is from the sweets. It has a sweet flavor, dry, and this is nutmeg. This is a seed. Here you see, this is a bark. Nutmeg. Cinnamon is a bark, and nutmeg is a seed. Here you see that is a seed, and best to store them like this, and then to grate it a little bit. So I have a little bit here. It's just a quarter of such a seed. You have that's very powerful, a very small amount. All the spices have to be used in a small amount, as we know, as I said before. But this is very powerful, especially it makes you sleep better. For example, gives you good sleep, longer sleep. It has so many things. It does. They have many health benefits. Spices and herbs are the second healthiest food we have. And this is clove, the third one. This is a petal, a flower, a bud. It's dried. That's what they look like, and it's also good to store them like this. And then when you need it, you ground it. I have two of them ground here. You said that's a little bit only, and they have antiseptic effects. Yeah, they're good for the liver health and for the mouth, for the teeth. It brings down the pain in the teeth. It's a classical medical tool for substance for the teeth. Toothache, they always use it. So it's a very nice antiseptical effects, but of course the flavor is also sweet, very strong, and I can only take a very small amount. It has a sweet, very intense flavor. It's hard to describe, Ayurvedic descriptions, they are, of course, they are related to the health. They always think about how to make you healthy. And they want to bring the system into balance. It's holistic. That means they have all the universe, the cosmos, in their approach. They say everything together has to be in harmony. And that's what they try to do with their cooking and therapies. It's a very different approach from our Western medicine. The experimental science does not look at the whole of all. They only look at one aspect. They're abstract science. That is the trick of the Western. They cannot prove that everything is connected with everything. That's holism. They can't prove that. So that was our big idea, invention. So we can look at a single aspect without looking at the other things and make a statement, a scientific statement that can be false or right, correct or wrong, right or wrong. And we can make that judgment without looking at the rest. That's what is the invention of the big Western science approach, is basically abstraction. But that's the difference to the ancient traditional sciences or medical sciences or arts, what do you call it? Holism, that's the problem. And so, yeah, different approaches. And as a chef, I'm not talking so much about health. My food, I like to have a healthy food, so I'm very interested in all these health aspects. But basically, it's about flavor. And able to describe the flavor, that's difficult. The Ayurveda doesn't help me so much with the description of the flavor so far. I'm just learning. But how to describe nutmeg flavor, the flavor of a clove, a petal like that, or the flavor of bark of the cinnamon, hard to describe. I know there's a wonderful warming effect, and it is used in autumn, also in the end of the year when it's cold outside. They use these kind of spices. We know that in the West we have these traditional spices. In India, they use it in a very different way. It's very interesting, different culture, and they use it in so many different recipes. Yesterday I heard a lot about it, was so much in the lecture. But the doctor, she said, we don't need to have all that knowledge in our head. What we should do is work with these ingredients. Go to a store where they have it, and take contact with it, or smell them, touch them, look what they look like. Take them home, compare them, and you put them into the food and look how they work. That's what I'm doing right now. I make a cashew milk. I love cashew milk. Banana milk, it's the same, not cashew, banana milk. It's a banana milk. And I used cashews and dates as a base. That is always wonderful. This is a wonderful combination. All my great favorite ingredients, cashews and dates and bananas, have always them at home. It's like a staple. And I have some frozen bananas here, half and half, because when I blend the cashews with the bananas, it takes a little bit longer to blend, to make them really smooth. So it's good for a longer blending. So 4 bananas or so, half a cup of cashews, and here a dozen dates or so, 8 or 9 or so, I don't know. Whatever you like, it doesn't matter really how sweet it is, it's up to you. And take a half a lemon. Let's take a quarter of a lemon first. I want to have a little bit lemon. It's not the main flavor here. I don't want to have it sour. That's not the point. I want to have the lemon here as to keep the smoothie or the banana milk from getting brown. Because when you make a banana milk without a lemon, you blend it, and then it sits for a moment, it turns brown and gray. Oxidation is very quick. And when you put a little bit of lemon in, oxidation is stopped and it remains light. It's fresher, so I do that. So I take away here the clove here, the whole clove and the nutmeg. I don't put that into the blender, and I have the ground here, the cinnamon, nutmeg and clove. It's a large amount of cinnamon, that's more than a tablespoon, and a third or a quarter of a tablespoon nutmeg, not too much, really not too much, it's very strong, and just a tiny fraction of clove, maybe 2 cloves or so, ground, and that's what I put into my blender. And now I get a little bit of water. I begin 2 cups or so. I always add more in order with the blender dance. sound finally got nice and even, so that tells me it might be ready, might be done. Now the texture is nice, it is still cool, that I feel that is good. I want to have it not too much warm. Yeah, it's a nice runny, milky texture. Let's see what it tastes like. Oh yeah, very nice. I guess I found the right measurement. Just the smallest amount of lemon. Doesn't taste sour, just a little fresh. That's nice. I can guess the lemon, but I don't necessarily. That's perfect. A quarter of a lemon. I thought a half lemon, or that quarter lemon is enough. And also the spices. I tried that smoothie first, that milk. I took a little bit more nutmeg, and it was really too much. Yeah, I had a quarter of a seed, and it was too much. Very sure. And this is better now. It's really nice. It's very, and you know, the flavors are not on the surface, they are overall. So it's one new flavor, and you don't taste the ingredients. You have just the whole new flavor. It's a oneness, it's a balance, that's nice. I blend one more time because the cashews always need some second blending because they're nuts, you know, that takes a little time. Yeah, second, no, one more blender dance. So the measurements, really how much I take, you have seen about, you know, the quarter lemon, that's important, not too much, but then 4 or 5 bananas, half a cup of cashews, you know, then you have here maybe half a liter or so, a little bit more, 3/4 of a drink, and you know, a tablespoon of cinnamon, yeah, a large amount of cinnamon and a small amount of nutmeg, and even smaller of clove. That is, it understands it by itself. You don't need to be a genius to find out these measurements. You won't take more than of cloves. Cloves are very strong. Take just a small amount. Same with the nutmeg, not too much, just a little bit. Yeah, be careful. You can always add if you like more, but be careful. And you know, that's what I do, how I do it. Small number of ingredients, and then I know almost the amounts. Yeah, don't need to have the precise measurements. When I take recipes with 10, 12, 15 ingredients, then it comes to the measurements, of course. But with 3 ingredients, basically, you know what's how much you have to put. Pretty easy here most of the time. Here, that is what it looks like. You see, there's a wonderful, nice creaminess and a beautiful. I will enjoy right away. And if that drink, if that's too much for me now, I just put it in a container, a lid on top, and in the refrigerator. It won't turn much browner because there is the lemon in there that keeps it from browning, and that's very nice because when you let that sit without the lemon in there, it really turns brown. That's not so nice. But here you see this color. It's different. When it would be without lemon, it would be really different right now. I tried that also before. It's not so nice. So a little bit of lemon goes a long way here, and it doesn't even taste her. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. If you like my videos, subscribe, MD Vegan on YouTube. Have another recipe every single day, and find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter.